From over here?
Yeah.
Niggas is so broke.
We broke as hell over here.
Do that. I'm not
Oh,
against.
he live. He just went
I'm not against. Yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga. We could do that though. We could do that. I'm not against that.
Oh, word, my man. See, that's what I'm talking about.
He said he gonna do what?
He said he with that. He not against that.
He against. I can't eat pizza.
You can't eat nothing right now because your mouth fucked up.
So how's he ordering a pizza? He ordering.
Hey, yo, salute to the people. It's a social forecast. If y'all can hear my sister and my brother in the background, we got a dope topic with one of Key's friends, and I'm gonna let Key sign us in real quick. Get straight into it.
What's up? This your boy Key. Like, subscribe to my YouTube, Chilling with Key. I'm here with
Facts.
Jazz, the social,
the comfort zone.
The comfort zone.
Like, comment, and subscribe. The link is in the description.
Get your sour, pudgy.
And I'm here with another close friend of mine, Jasmine.
Yo, we be having a lot of
bad Jasmine's on the goddamn.
Yeah, I'm back. I heard my name.
God, we just shouting you out.
All right.
But today's topic will be monogamy versus polygamy.
Hold on, what's up, Mango? Salute to Mango. I fuck with Mango. Hey, yo, Key. Jasmine's bootleg Wi-Fi cut you out a little bit. So repeat what the topic is.
Oh, you got it on Wi-Fi?
Nah, the Wi-Fi been signed out. The topic is monogamy versus polygamy.
I'm going in my room.
And
no, all right.
Who came up with this topic?
It was presented. It was presented to us, so I thought it was dope. So watch your mouth. All right, go ahead, Key.
You want me to start it off?
Let's get it. Let's get it popping.
Well, when we talking about what I prefer, what do you want to hear? What I prefer?
Right, okay. All right. So first, what we want to do is separate out what exactly monogamy is for people who might not fully understand, and then what polygamy is for people who might not understand. And then I guess we could kind of go into, the dualism between both, the dynamics of each, and then I guess we take it from there.
Okay, break it down for him, brother.
Well, I was just suggesting some shit that you could do. Okay. Or you know what? We can have the intelligent Miss Jasmine, your friend over there, do it.
Oh, most definitely.
This was our topic.
Okay. All right. So a little on the spot.
Introduce yourself. Shout out whatever you want to shout out if that's what you choose.
All right. So I'm Jazz or Jazzy, Jay, whatever. Everyone calls me different stuff. I wanted to introduce this topic because I like to get the male perspective on things like this, well, male and female. I actually encountered a person who believes in polygamy like a lot and has been trying to get women to see his view of polygamy and why, they should go along with it and why they should be polygamous with him. You understand? And do the whole sister wives thing. But for, basically his purpose is to fulfill certain agendas and use these women or their emotions for him to get to where he wants to be. And I think that emperors and kings and stuff like that, kind of employed the same tactics. So I wanted to know your thoughts on it,
All right. So first, wait, I got questions. Okay. So this individual who's trying to convince you or whoever else, what's their approach? Like, how do you try to convince a woman of that? Like, what is his?
You said, what's his purpose?
Approach. Like, how does he present that?
Oh, well, mostly through like sexual manipulation and kind of in the same way that, a person who might call herself a pimp or something like that would operate in manipulating a person's brain to, benefit theirself and saying, saying like it's a team effort.
Really? And it's good.
Yeah, something like that. But it was more so in terms of raising children and how each woman can contribute something different to the growth and development of the children that he has, amongst all of them. Like one could teach them about, like agriculture, and the other can teach them about, economics, or, whatever the situation may be. And that whole concept of the lioness, like the lion, the king or whatever, has all these like lionesses or whatever you call them, and they're the ones that are going out and hunting for him and protecting him. You know what I'm saying?
And
Like
then
that concept.
does this concept or approach work? Does it actually is it effective?
Um,
Like,
I mean,
is
I was.
want to be intrigued into trying this?
I mean, well, are you talking modern day, or are we talking like?
Yeah, like now, like the individual that you said that you know who was trying to convince people to do it. Does it work?
Yeah. I find that he's had difficulty in doing this. So I'm wondering if that's even possible, or like, like let's say men who practice the Muslim faith or whatever, the ones who believe that they have to have multiple wives, it's kind of the same concept. So, I'm just wondering, would you engage in something like that? Would you think that's a good idea? Like,
All right, so I'm gonna kick this over to Key, but before I do that, for those of you who might not be 100% um, abreast on exactly what polygamy is, it's kind of like it's the concept of taking multiple wives. This is something that's been going on since the Old Testament and the Bible. I mean, this has been around for thousands, if not millions of years. My thoughts on multiple wives, aside from the fact that it's illegal current day, there are still communities that operate autonomously from the government that declare themselves to be sovereign and not under the uh, how would you call it purview of the federal or any local laws or ordinances. And they operate in these kind of independent communities and they have multiple wives. There was actually a show not too long ago called Sister Wives, where
Mhm.
compound and people were kind of engaging in this type of lifestyle. I don't know what happened as far as any legal matters because I know that at one point during the show they showed like the people. I don't know what part of the federal government, but kind of pulling up, taking all the kids away, and it was like this whole big thing about it. I always thought, me personally, I would not want to handle more than one woman, but I feel like financially speaking, if you could do it, and if the women were open to it, how is it much different than dating in 2019? What's up, Keith?
Um, my take on it is me personally, I think I can do it.
But would it be something you'd be interested in? Like, is that appealing to you?
It's not something like, oh no, I need to have multiple
Yeah.
wives or I need to have multiple girlfriends. Nah, that's not a need. That's not like a big fantasy of mine or nothing. But I believe it's all on their intelligence, how we're connected. Because like I understand where you coming from, where you say I don't think I can handle more than one woman, like unless it's unless you're financially stable. I mean,
Not even from the financial aspect though, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And I don't mean this in any negative way, but as a man dealing with a woman and all those different aspects is draining. You understand? Like it's draining
yeah,
on both parties. How could you equally give what you would need to each one effectively? You know what I'm saying?
it's possible when you're all like under the same roof. If you're not really like, don't think of like, okay, I have a girlfriend and then I'm going out cheating on my girlfriend with another woman. You have to think about you guys are all living together, all eating together. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be a connection that's going to build up there. Like I said, it really depends on everybody's intellect. You know what I mean? Like everybody has to be mentally there because you actually, I don't know. That's just I've never had to I never had that happen to me where I had multiple girlfriends or multiple people I was seeing. So that's that's kind of hard to really me say, but I think I would be up to trying it if my if the sister wives were up to it. Like we have to be,
Yeah.
it has to be definitely an agreement and an understanding there.
You mentioned something interesting, and I kind of want to get into it a little bit. You said not in the sense of cheating, where you have multiple partners, but they don't know about each other, or it's not out in the open.
Hmm.
So that's the most common aspect of cheating, right? What's universally accepted when you talk about and people hear about cheating.
Yeah.
I got a concept for you to think about.
Okay.
So let's say in a situation where you had three girlfriends, everybody knew about each other, everybody was open to it, y'all considered it to be a relationship, a closed circle.
Okay.
Technically speaking, because part of what makes cheating so detrimental, aside from the deceit, in my opinion, is the fact that your attention being divided between two or more, three or more, however many people, it limits you to give your best to that person that you're supposed to be giving your best to. So when I say not able to fully give yourself and it being draining emotionally, spiritually, mentally, even though all parties might know about each other and say that they're okay with it, how could you fully give all of which I would think you would need to invest in a relationship, not from the mechanical side where one person handles the cooking or the cleaning and one person handles the this and the that. I'm meaning more the internals of the relationship, the inner workings, the things that are intangible. You don't think dividing yourself that many times can potentially create issues down the line?
That's actually a good point.
Let's
Like I
get
said,
into it. Let's get
I
into it.
haven't like that. You made a very good point. I haven't been in that situation where I had to like actually think about something like that. But I think I don't know it. I think if everybody, like I said, if everybody's living under the same roof, sleeping together, eating together, you know what I mean. If you're really like besides working, if you're spending most of your like downtime and at home time together, I think it becomes like a strong bond there. Like not just with the man and the woman, but the woman and the woman as well. Because, like I said, but is it really like white like sister wives? Is it like I don't know. I don't really like that word sister wives.
Yeah.
You
All
know
right.
what I
So,
mean? Because it's like at the end of the day, is it that's what I said. I don't know really too much about polygamy of
mhm,
as far as like as what it means, but
yeah. That's why I'm kind of trying to approach it from an everyday. I want to get a woman's perspective. Like, okay, so when you don't know what cheating is, right, Jasmine, when you haven't identified it, a lot of people automatically assume when they see the signs or they kind of have those feelings, they'll assume it's in their head or they'll assume they're overthinking things or they're just being insecure or what have you, right? That's typically like the first stage before you really start to pay attention to the possibility that the person you're with is cheating on you. Okay.
Okay.
Now, what my question is don't isn't the most hurtful part before you find out or confirm that someone is cheating or being unfaithful in a relationship? Isn't the most hurtful part is feeling like that person's becoming distant, not having their attention? Would you think as a woman in a situation where you knowingly are engaging in that type of circle or relationship, how do you subvert the mental tricks that has to play on any person, not just a woman, but any person, but especially a woman? Oh, I think her thing is muted. Her
yeah,
microphone.
you're on mute.
Yeah, hold on a sec, because
Yeah, cool.
um, I had something in my background. Okay, so that's a bit of a tricky question because, see, I think it just depends on certain people's mentality. Like, a lot of people are so accustomed to this traditional relationship or this mold that you have to fit into or follow in the way that you interact with people. You have to be of a certain age before you start doing something and taking these steps, and then you need to get married and then have a kid and then do this. Like, instead of seeing it as, some people just have a really raw, gritty way of thinking, and it's like maybe even to on a like a sociopath kind of, where they just kind of lack emotion or remorse for anything, and they just have whatever goal that they have, and they don't care who they use, who they hurt, whatever. It could be a situation like that. I highly doubt in a polygamous situation that there's going to be genuine love
Mm.
between any of these individuals. It probably would be like the first person that the guy got with. That would be the person that he really loves, and maybe maybe she can't have children or something like that. The other woman would serve the purpose of having children for him, but he loves his first wife. And then the other woman would be, maybe his wife can't cook worth a damn, and whatever, so he needs a chick to cook for him. And then like honestly, I've seen it to where one person was trying to set up a situation like that. I
Mm.
know a situation where that was successful, but I'm not in the situation to be able to speak on what happens, when company's not around. So for me, like, I'm a little bit different than other females. I don't really get too wrapped up in all that emotional stuff. So if we were working towards a greater purpose and doing this polygamy thing, it wouldn't bother me. If I had feelings for the person, there's no way it would work. It wouldn't work. I'm not sure if I answered your question completely, but
No, yeah, 100%. And it's interesting because as you were talking in my head, I'm just seeing. So the reason why this topic is so interesting is because it plays on a lot of different things, right? Like
right,
there's a like Jasmine was saying, there's a whole psychology behind not dating but connecting, right? Us as individuals. One of the most basic needs as human beings that we have is to seek out, to create and maintain connections. And all I kept hearing when she was giving the whole breakdown is it's kind of like when someone goes behind. Hold on one second. Oh, I don't want that. That's fine. Sorry, that was my teenager.
mm,
Like I was saying though, when Jasmine touched on the whole, what if one person can't cook? What if one person is not into cleaning? So it's kind of like when most people seek out other partners behind their partner's back, you're really seeking to fill a void, right? Even if that void is perceived and not real.
Yeah.
But now, Key, you got that void that you're feeling in that person's face, live and color. It's a constant reminder.
Ah,
What
okay.
you saying?
yeah,
Like,
but that's if
Yeah.
the person like even cares though, because you have some females that can be just as cold-hearted and business-minded about the
Mm,
situation,
mm,
and that won't be an issue. So that's why, like Key was saying, like, you definitely have to have some sort of arrangement in place. Like, we're not gonna have bad
definitely.
blood in here or arguing or nothing like that.
And that's hard to even have because, not for nothing, females are very jealous, and so are men. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because a lot of men can get jealous at not just their woman being with another man, but their woman being with another woman. So
Really?
hold on,
yeah,
go expound on that, Key. What you mean? I understand the man part, but why do you say other women too?
some men they still get jealous because at the end of the day, like I said, I always know people with personal things going on, and one of my friends had a girl who was into women as well, and it was all that thing about having your cake and eating it too. You
Mm.
can't have it both ways because it'd be a
Mm.
point like, all right, you want to mess with him, and then you want to mess with women too, but y'all don't. It can't be a threesome thing. Like you're not bringing women into.
So you just want to be jealous and greedy and just have it for yourself, not because you're mad that she went off. You're like, oh, but damn, I can't get some. Like, that's your thought
No,
process.
but that's the having your cake and eating it too, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you don't want him sleeping with another woman. Why do you get to? Because it's a woman? No, that's not right.
What do y'all think about the concept of monogamy and exclusive dating, marriage? Because look,
I love it. I love
marriage,
it.
it.
Oh boy.
Well,
I love it.
let me set up the context, right?
All right.
Marriage is a construct that, although it started um, in the religious realm of society, it really is, for all intents and purposes, a business arrangement, right? It's how the
Mm-hmm.
Right.
government looks at it. You know, and there was a time when all families and monarchies did was arrange marriages to make sure that the families and that the legacy of those families, the wealth of those families, transcended from generation to generation, right?
Hmm.
Now, I don't think, and I don't think many people would disagree, I don't think we as people naturally are monogamous.
No.
But yet, somehow, civilized society has convinced us and conditioned us into thinking that that's the proper way to do things. Like when Jasmine touched on people who have to take this linear approach to things. You get married, you have the kid, you get the, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
so if monogamy is not natural, and if we know that subconsciously, or at least in our primitive brains, we know that, then how come when we try to subjugate that whole dynamic, how come we end up with issues? Like we're against cheating, we're against unfaithfulness, disloyalty, but at the same time, we know on some level that monogamy is not really a natural thing. How does that work?
Um, phew, that's a good one. Cause me personally, I can see myself married. I can see myself, the kid, the one woman thing. Um, I don't know. I heard like oh yeah, males have to dominate, have to that's true, but you don't have to like I done had my time. You know what I mean? Like I'm good. I don't need like because me personally, I like to have unprotected sex, and I
Facts.
don't like. I swear that's just me. I don't like. You know, shut up.
Oh
I don't
God!
like.
Oh my God!
I don't like sleeping with a condom, so that's why I don't believe in like the whole multiple partner thing. I'd rather have one woman. You know what I mean? Because that's just my personal. That's just me
So this is
personally.
this is purely a selfish physical motivation, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
but the mental too. I don't like if I find that right one I connect with. You know what I mean? I really don't need to seek out nothing else. You know what I mean? Far as on that level, like intimately, or you know what I mean, just trying to find somebody else to connect with. Because once you found that one,
As a sidebar, why do women in general not think that men operate that way? Because I can't
because
physically,
their past experiences.
but it's weird because I can't really physically engage with someone if I'm not mentally, emotionally, spiritually connected to them. But yet, as a man, you're looked at automatically as
A dog.
hold on. My nigga, my boy Henry must be watching the stream because he sent me a text talking about I'm never getting married.
I want to know why.
I was just about to ask, what is the fear behind that?
Yeah, I don't.
Matter
I
of
don't
fact,
know what it
I
is.
think it's like people being afraid of like making like the
Commitment.
wrong investment or like you know what I mean, like wasting time, not getting your ROI or whatever, and
Hmm.
like I don't know, because some people they play games, they don't know where they're going in life. Other people they have more clear vision,
That's right.
and you can get hurt wasting someone's time. Like don't.
Yeah,
now we're
and that's
definitely
one
not
thing
going
I
to
hate.
stray too far off topic, but as someone who's been married for the past 11 years, I can honestly say if I had it all to do again, I would never get married. 100%.
Hmm.
But
Mm.
Now, is that why
um,
is that though? Is that does that goes back to the contract thing, or is it like why would
no,
you never get married if you can go back?
theoretically, marriage is great, um, but realistically, it doesn't work. And I'm going to tell you why. And this is really just when I speak on marriage and I speak on relationships and the kind of the pros and cons and why our generation has so many issues with relationships, the age group 28 to 35, I'm gonna say, and maybe even a little older.
Hmm.
Our generation has it rough because we are the generation for the most part that saw the epidemic of the single parent household or the broken family, especially in the inner cities, really become prominent. And so what happened when that um, when that phenomenon came in and took over is The single parents who were left behind, mostly mothers, single mothers, and not to their detriment, but they started teaching their daughters that you don't need a man, you don't need this, you don't need that, don't trust men, keep your guard up, don't, be submissive, don't be all those things that men really look for women to be. And this is not a indictment on women. This is just me building my point. So what happened was you had women who grew up in a generation where they were taught by these single mothers and shown by example of absent fathers not to trust men. At the same time, you had Disney putting out all these movies with this romanticized fairy tale version of what marriage is, right? You see Cinderella with the glass slipper, you see Sleeping Beauty, you see all of these things, right? But you don't see what happens after the credits stop rolling. You don't see what happens when the kids start crying, or the house is dirty, or dinner needs to be made, bills need to be paid. You don't see that
Right.
realistic part of it. So all these girls grew up with this unrealistic view on what marriage should be. They don't see really past the wedding, past the big day, past the planning. And the second you have those real world issues, most people don't know how to work those things out. So you have little boys who were raised without their fathers and didn't know how to treat women because they didn't have that example. Then you had little girls whose first real love in their life is the father. The absence of that presence, now you have two people growing up on opposite ends of the spectrum, then thrown into adulthood and told, now deal with adult relationships and make them work. It's impossible. And so we've been stumbling around trying to figure it out ever since.
Well, if you don't mind if I interject,
Of course.
why say impossible instead of difficult? Because yeah, it kind of like seems like it doesn't work because it's been beaten in our head to be a certain way for so long or whatever. But then isn't that then we're different kinds of healings would kind of come in or alternatives because on the one hand, we got Key saying like, okay, like he could do marriage, he can do this, he could be with one woman because he's done everything. Now you've been married already, and you're saying you would not do it again, and you're already in this. Like, so it's just like, could it just be a matter of finding that person that is worth all the bullshit, if I can say that, sorry, all the BS or whatever, and like whatever you need to do to fix that person and fix yourself and make yourselves better in every way, that you do that for each other, like. And then if we can't work from that point, then all right, maybe let's go off to this polygamy thing, give that a try. But
All right. You're right. I shouldn't say impossible and I misspoke. I meant improbable is what I should have said. And here's why. What you said is 100% correct. The problem is our generation, we don't see it that way, right? We're a microwave generation. We're a generation that we no longer fix things or keep things. We everything around us, whether it be technology, whether it be everything that is advertised and presented and promoted to us, is this is broken, this is old, throw it away, buy new, or out with the old. And that's what we grew up on. So when somebody seems like their work or they're a little bit of a project or that you might have to actually put more in to get more out, we run. And it's not a man woman thing. It's not a young old thing. It's a mindset. It's a condition. I don't know why that is because I don't think that there's just one person out there for someone. I think anybody outside of a toxic situation can make a relationship work and be fulfilling. But I think the part that we keep missing each other, all of us, is that we don't understand that there is work that has to do. We want it to be easy and fun and fulfilling and joyful all the time. We forget the behind the scenes that those grandparents put in to make it 40, 60 years. You know what I'm saying?
right,
I think that's the biggest problem.
My marriage gonna be fun. My marriage,
It
we
should,
gonna have fun.
where
but it should
it
also
could
be
be.
fun with the understanding that it's some days it's gonna feel like
Oh
work.
nah, definitely.
Both,
There's days in
but
just
see,
your typical relationship.
This the problem though. When both parties don't see that that work is worth putting in, that's when you start to tip those scales. And
My
in the
fault. What you say, bro?
I said the problem is when both parties don't see equally that that work is worth putting in, that's when you start to tip the scales because one person is going to do the work a little bit more than the other because
You're
they just
absolutely
got
right
that,
about that.
and eventually that resentment builds in because most people think a relationship is 50-50. It's not. It can never be. It's not supposed to be. A relationship is a series of sometimes it's 60-40, sometimes it's 20-80, sometimes it's 70-30. It all depends on who's willing to carry that load when the other person at whatever point in time in their lives can't do it. But we feel like, nah, this is the line I'm at. If you can't meet me there, that's it. And that's not like
Wait, I like what you just said about that you can't basically like you can't give to somebody like at a certain time in your life because you're dealing with other things.
of
I
course.
feel as though a lot of people don't understand that like you cannot give from an empty cup. But my thing is, if you're with somebody, why should you even feel at any point that your cup is empty at all? Because you guys are supposed to fill each other up. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So
Word.
like,
That's how
would that then make people cheat?
it shouldn't. But I think, see, I think most people create a vacuum in their relationship. And this is the part that makes me um not hopeful for monogamy because like you just said if you're dealing with, let's say you're dealing with, I don't know, let's say your best friend, God forbid, passed away. You're in a committed long-term relationship and it just hits you so hard because you grew up with this friend and you had all these experiences with this friend, all these memories, and you're just not in a good place. Now you don't have that extra energy to give to that partner. Like you said, they should be trying to help fill your cup when you can't. But the problem is, people are so selfish, and and not even in like a menacing way, just selfish in a sense of naturally people just want, okay, when is it my turn to be taken care of? When is it my turn to be needy? When is it my turn to be catered to? And people don't realize it's like you go to work every day, you get paid, you get this deposit in your account. You can keep withdrawing to a certain point, but if you don't put work in again, it's not going to be no more deposits. And that's what we do to relationships. We withdraw and withdraw and withdraw until we're negative, and we forget, oh shit, the work is what adds the value. The work is what replenishes that account. But that's the part that's not enjoyable because the work always seems to come during bad times when we don't have the energy or you don't feel like doing it. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's, I don't know. It's very complex. It's difficult.
Okay.
You
Word.
So
really
are
have
you
to.
like team monogamy then, Mr. Married Man, or are you like team polygamy, but I effed around and got in a monogamous situation?
Well, I'm a Libra, right? So I'm a
Oh my God, me
serial.
too.
I'm
All right, that was so girly of me. I'm sorry, but okay.
I believe inherently Libras are serial monogamists, right? Like I've always been in a long term committed relationship throughout my entire life. I've never done the multiple woman thing at any point in my young or adult life. That just was never me. Um, I'm just more pro whatever two or more people decide can work for them. Give it a try. The most important part is communication. It's one of the biggest things I touch on in my second book, Relationship Etiquette. Communication, communication, communication. Without it, I don't care what you try to do, it's not going to work.
Right.
That's where I'm at with it.
Excuse me, y'all. I'm just trying to make this turkey bacon.
Key, what's up though? I mean, what you think?
Listen, I told you how I'm coming.
Let me
Um,
ask y'all something. Actually, I got a good
huh?
question for y'all. I got a question for y'all both. Actually,
Mhm.
Wagwan.
I want to make sure I word this right. Um, if you're not married, are you single? And if you're single, is a dating relationship are the same requirements as if you're in a marriage as far as loyal and faithful? Do those things?
Absolutely. Oh, I'm sorry.
Why?
Hold on.
Why?
What happened?
Okay.
Because yeah, go ahead. Say it again. Say it again.
What I asked was if you're not married and you're single, if you're in a dating situation, do the same rules apply as if you were married? If so, why? And if not, why not?
Oh, he's so quiet. Okay.
Go ahead, Key.
Oh, that was my bad. I
That
thought
was for
Husband had
anybody.
something to say.
Well, I'm gonna just say, since it sounds like he's over there making food or something like that, I think the rules are absolutely the same because at the end of the day, that's the whole interview process. How are you even expecting? Thank you. How are you even expecting to get to the point of marriage if you can't even pass your prereqs? You know what I mean? Like you have to, I mean, you never really know a person, until you live with them and whatnot. But still, like, if you're while you're supposed to be dating this person, you're talking to this man and that man, next man, and seeing this one, you're not focused on that one person. You're not giving them that time that you would expect from them. So you're already wasting their time. Then you're being a thought or whatever because you can't just sit still with one person. That's not marriage material. That's not wife material. So yeah, like that's
Mm.
yeah.
Get into it now. Now, as a woman, I just asked you a question that you answered that now causes me to ask you about some of the contradictions that the fair sex makes. So, if the same requirements apply to a relationship, why not the same benefits? How come all the women who say, "Oh, why am I going to act like a wife if I'm not a wife? Why am I going to give you the milk? Like, why would you buy the cow if you get the milk for free? Why am I going to do wifely duties if I'm not actually don't have the last name? I don't have the ring. If the same rules apply, why not the same benefits?"
Okay, well, the women I feel that are saying things like that are the women who've already done that foolishly.
Mm,
But on her own, she was being foolish, and or the guy played her. So now she's walking around like, well, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. At the end of the day, you're still doing it because it's not like you're keeping your legs closed. You're
mm,
still giving it up, and you're getting mad because you're not getting what you expected. Um, the benefits are still the same because whether you're married or not, you're still gonna get some. And the only difference I feel is that as a wife, okay, you get a title, so you're it's like it's an arrangement, like you said, you're getting a cut of money or some insurance or some type of benefit or whatever, but doesn't mean there has to be love there.
mhm.
But no, I don't agree. I'm not saying I don't really agree with that statement because I feel like I said, that's just for certain women that feel that way. Like, again, it's still an interview process. You still need to cook for the person that you're dating. You still need to show that you can be clean or make them happy, or they're not going, like, what's the point of taking that next step?
Okay. So here's my next part to that. So, because I think sometimes we take the whole idea of that interview part a little bit too literal, right? Isn't the purpose of dating to interact with, get to know, mingle with different people to find who? Because, see, I think most people focus on a person and they invest their time, years, youth, energy, love, innocence, whatever, into that person. And then when it doesn't work, it's like, okay, now I got to start over. But isn't the point of dating to do that part with multiple people till you find the person you want to fully invest in permanently? How can you, and when I'm interviewing for a job, I'm not just interviewing at one company and then trying my luck with that company. I'm interviewing multiple different companies, maybe different industries, maybe, you know what I'm saying, to see where I might fit better. And until I've taken a position, a company or an employer can't tell me, "Oh, well, you interviewed our competitor, so we're no longer considered." Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, the whole point of the interview is for me to figure out what works for me, what I like, what I'm into, what might be beneficial to me.
Hmm.
So why don't we take that approach to dating? Because you got the interview, and then you got the 90-day probationary period. See, I think the interview process is supposed to be, you meet different people. You might go out one night with this person or that person. I'm not saying you necessarily have to be sexually active with all those people, but I'm saying the point, I think, should be, you meet different people, you interact with them, and then once you kind of start leaning toward one, that's when you start that. And obviously it's not 90 days, but that period to see if this is really that person I want to stop dealing with all those people for. You see what I'm saying? And then if not, you rinse, repeat, right, Key? No?
Yeah, I hear where you're coming from.
That's how it should be. But for some reason, ego, jealousy, all these different things come into play and prevent us. And we feel like we have to be exclusive with every person we meet and have a connection with. Where does that come from, though? Is that the pressure of monogamy in 2019? Is that the fear of us dying alone? Where does that come from?
What'd you say?
I said, is that the pressure of monogamy in 2019, or is that the fear of us?
You
Uh,
say, can you send her another invite? She hopped on her computer.
okay, no doubt, no doubt. Um, well, basically, yeah, that's where I'm coming with it. It's like, we all want the connection, but then I feel like we don't have the time to truly vet the people that we might want to entertain. Because look, you meet somebody, right, Key? You might like her, you might think she has the right vibes, but you really haven't had the time to really get to know this person yet. And you can't really do that in the most unbiased way, because the second y'all really start to become close, she's expecting you to be exclusive. You might be expecting her to be exclusive, and that kind of creates a bubble, because now you might be focused on this person. And what happens is, in that honeymoon stage, like what we were talking about, right? You're a little
Mm-hmm.
bit biased because infatuation kind of clouds judgment. So you're prevented from fully being able to see this person until it's too late, right? Most people are on their best behavior in the honeymoon stages of a relationship. And then so what happens is, by the time a person really starts to let show through who they really are, that
Uh-huh.
infatuation has already turned to, in most cases, real feelings. And so just because you have real feelings for a person, you will start to look past certain red flags or signs that they show you early on. So this is like, it's like a struggle against time, because the more time passes, the more you're locked in with this person. So by the time you realize, oh shit, this is the wrong person, you've invested so much time, so much energy. At that point, you're like, let me keep trying to make it work. And then
Yeah.
just, you see what I'm saying? It's how people get sucked into these long relationships. My boy want me to email him, but go ahead. What you think about that?
Uh, yo, you're right.
It's deep shit, bro. It gets deeper than what people want to think about.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But we gonna talk about it on the social forecast, motherfucker. Believe that shit.
Absolutely.
So what's up? What you think?
Uh,
Basically, what I want to know from you, until Jasmine comes back on the stream,
uh,
basically what I want to know from you is there a way to get back to a place where dating is dating, a relationship is a relationship, and it's exclusive when those two people decide it's exclusive. But if it's not, it should not be considered as cheating, because you're technically still trying to figure out who you want to be with, whether marriage is in your plans or not.
now, now, how far along you mean from the dating scene though?
I don't think any,
Because if we dating for a little minute, I would have a problem with that.
but that's what I'm saying. I think that would be something for both people to figure out. But because look, what I'm saying is not so far-fetched, because it happens anyway, right? Like, you meet a girl, you might have met another girl that you thought was cool a week before, or 2 weeks prior, or you might meet another girl 3 weeks later. We're all doing it anyway. You're still talking to both people or multiple people anyway, until you decide within yourself, this is the person I want to rock with.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is, it happens behind the scenes though,
Yeah,
because
it does.
I feel like if it's out in the open, we feel like we're doing something wrong. What I'm saying is, I think if that type of thing is out in the open, it's, look, competition is a hell of a motivator, right? If
Mm-hmm.
if you this was my concept on marriage. I was saying that every license, every certification, every uh thing you could ever have in life has an expiration date. Every type of license certification except the marriage license. How come? If people knew that this marriage license is going to expire in 5 years, and if I'm not on my ship, my marriage could end, would you think the divorce rate would go up or down?
Um, I think it'll. I think it'll go down.
It would 100% go down. But because we have this indefinite, automatic, till death do us part, forever sentence, life sentence associated with marriage,
Mm-hmm.
it's no wonder why people get married and then a year into it, 5 years in, they're letting themselves go and they're getting comfortable and they're forgetting the things that in the first place made that relationship fun. But if you knew that thing had an expiration date, like, I know every 4 years my license is going to expire. So I know there's certain things I got to do to prepare to make sure I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? To make sure I ain't got no tickets piled up. I ain't got no, like, you know what I'm saying? I got to make
Yeah,
sure I'm ready to be able to renew my license in good standing when it's time for me to do that. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
people
I
know,
hear where you're coming from.
just like in dating, because people are usually on their best behavior in dating until you move in, you get married, it gets more serious, and then you get that buyer's remorse that seems to come out of nowhere, but it really doesn't, because it's just people knowing that this thing is temporary. It can end if I'm not on my best behavior. But I feel
Yeah,
like we lose that concept when it's a marriage now, because now you're like, oh, okay. The woman is like, oh, I got him now. The man is like, okay, I did what I had to do. Now I don't got to do nothing else. But that's incorrect.
You know these fish sticks is in here too, right?
word.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, bro.
Ah, go ahead, do you? Let's see.
Can you put those on for me? Well, I'll put them on. Don't worry about it.
I'm about to put them on because it's enough for me to get this thing. I'm about to have to eat this
I haven't eaten like all day.
Oh no, you good. I'm trying to send my email to my boy. I want to get his perspective a little bit. Um, um, I don't know what happened to your friend, but I did send her the invite. I'll send another one just in case. But yeah,
Okay.
basically, and look, this is all in keeping with the same idea of the topic of polygamy versus monogamy, because it really, if you when you think about it, it sounds crazy when we separate polygamy, and it sounds like this a foreign, otherworldly thing that's just like so far out of the realm of norm that.
Yeah, a lot of people frown down upon that. Like,
But in reality, it goes on every day in real life.
exactly.
It's not with a title on it. It's just not, you know what I'm saying? Like out in the open. Because those are really the only two choices, right? Nobody's going to choose to live alone for the rest of their lives. Nobody's going to ever choose that. We need to have connection. So it's either one person exclusive or multiple people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is there one that works better than the other? Is there one that's better for you than the other?
Huh? You called my name?
No.
What's he talking about?
You're like,
um, I don't know. I would like I said, I would like to give that a shot, but a lot of women ain't up for that. And like you said, it's frowned upon. Like, even though a lot of people live in that way anyway,
what's frowned upon?
polygamy.
That's having more than one wife.
Is he?
Huh?
Having more than one wife.
Yeah. Or even girlfriend. Like,
I know a lot of people who doing it
but
though.
that's I know. I don't know nobody
I think it's
personally
going
that's
to get
doing
more
I
and
think
more
girls
popular as time goes on, honestly. I think it's going to get more and more popular. I think the more time, because I think we're going to start to see a reversal. Marriages are going to go down, and I think kind of this uh, cohabitating is going to go up, and people dealing with multiple people in open relationships are going to go up. That's what I think is going to happen.
it. It definitely could.
I have a question. Do y'all think that if if you're in, I don't want to say open relationship, but if you're just dealing with somebody, do
Uh-huh.
you think that the person should tell you if they're dealing with somebody else?
I think 100%. At least until it gets back to the point where most people should understand. If we're dating, we are still single. Single is not, yo, I'm not getting no sex right now. Single is it's a real status. Like when you fill out a job application, if you're not married, you're expected to fill the checkbox single.
Yeah.
That's for a reason. You see what I'm saying? Like if you're dating, you're single. If you're not married, you're single. It's divorced, married, widowed, separated, or single. Those are the options. So I feel like people got to stop taking dating as serious as they do. Yes, you're dating to find out who you potentially want to spend the rest of your life with, whether that looks like marriage or something else.
Mm-hmm.
So
Until I,
you think if I'm dealing with somebody, I'm sleeping with somebody, although I'm still single, I should have a conversation with this person to tell them if I'm sleeping with somebody else.
I think the sleeping with part is really what confuses it. But I think entertaining multiple people is what we're supposed. I think that's the most effective way to find who is going to be most compatible with us. But we don't do it because we think it's socially wrong.
But do we have to tell the other person that that's what we're
I
doing?
think we should. And full disclosure, I think I'm always for communication with the other party. But I think if both people involved did it, it would take away the I don't know, I guess the mystery or the fear of thinking that you had to keep it to yourself. If we were able to get back to a point where it was understood, because look, it's happening. Everybody knows. You meet somebody, and at least for those first few weeks, you still talking to another person. You see what I'm saying? You're transitioning from a relationship, but you still dealing with your ex. This is reality. We know that 100%.
Yeah,
We don't want to talk about it because we think if we talk about it, it changes the connection. I think we got to become bolder and understand that it's better to talk about these things, get more understanding. Because already,
I mean, my personal opinion, I think you should tell a person, but I think the reason why people are so stuck in this I don't have to
mm,
because I'm single thing, when it's not even about you having to, it's about respect at the end of the day.
exactly.
yeah,
And how much of a better connection, Jasmine, if you dealing with a chick, right? And she goes out of her way to tell you shit she don't have to tell you. Yo, you're gonna feel that chick more. If you like me, and I know you are, you're gonna be like, damn, I respect this chick. Like she ain't gotta tell me this shit, but she telling me like that's a turn on for me.
yeah.
See what I'm saying? Like, damn, like okay, like I can rock with this person.
Because you know they're gonna be honest.
Exactly. Because if you that and that's why when we did that one round table and we were talking about do when do you talk about body count and one of the panelists had said I think it's a stupid question and I don't know why people ask it. Um, it goes back to that because it's like if you're unwilling to talk about things that you don't have an obligation to talk about, then when we get into a situation together and shit really hits the fan, I can't even trust you to talk to me when it's important because you can't even talk to me when it's not.
Word, absolutely.
That's a fact. I don't know. That's why I'm up in the air about monogamy. I don't know what how much of a future it has. It's either we're gonna keep being the way we are, cheating, lying, doing the fucked up shit we do, and it's just gonna be a world of people who don't fucking trust each other, or we're just gonna start being honest about the fact that we gotta stop criminalizing cheaters and making it seem like oh you're fucked up if you do this if you do that. Look, if you are the kind of person who can't be monogamous, cool. Just let me know so I can make the decision for myself. Don't drag people into a situation where you know you can't be faithful.
Word.
And like my sister Jasmine always says though, we got to make those people feel comfortable to
Yeah,
be
because
open up
what
to
I've
us.
learned, it's a lot more women
Yeah.
nowadays that's okay with being in open relationships. That's okay with
Mhm.
just sleeping with you and you doing what you want to do as long
'Cause
as
they
you're
busy
honest.
too. They trying to grind and get their shit done. They busy too.
Right.
They want the headache half the time. That's a fact. But like sis always says though, yeah, we got to make each other comfortable. If we're gonna expect people to be open and honest, then the price of that honesty is we gonna feel a little uncomfortable sometimes because of it. So we gotta allow people the chance to be comfortable, to be open and honest.
It's cheaper to keep it down there, boy.
Hey, listen, story of my life. But yeah, I would not want to deal with multiple wives, bro. I couldn't handle it.
I couldn't do it.
I could, and I'm not even talking about like I could. I just, fuck now, especially now. I'm 35. Nigga need a nap half the time. Like the time or the energy to entertain. Listen, bro. I don't know.
I feel you.
I can't do it.
Anyway, fuck all that heavy shit. Before we end this stream, yo, what's up with Takashi, bro? Is this nigga snitching?
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's
Big
snitching.
facts.
You snitching?
Big
So
facts.
how much? All right. So look, right, and I haven't looked it up yet to see exactly, but this nigga at least could have been facing 30 years with all these charges.
Shit, more than
Would
that.
you have
Right,
snitched?
and that's why I said at least. So what what I have snitched.
He
Okay,
said,
okay, 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 okay. No, I wouldn't have in his situation. Look, I'm not about the whole blurred lines between snitching and if you're a civilian, you are not engaging in any type of illegal activities and you witness a crime,
Yeah, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
you're a witness. You're not a you're not a snitch.
Yeah.
But you out there Treyway, nigga, and we do this and we got sticks and we do that. You can't. I got caught. Nah, yo, it was them.
Like, come on now.
That
Nah.
was Treyway.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Shoddy in them.
That's what he did. He did a come on out. They called us.
Word, they
No,
called
nigga,
us.
they called you, nigga.
They called us.
They called you. Yeah, like nah. But okay, so if he was facing 30 or more years, and now
He was supposed to take that on the chin.
it's clear he's snitching because they got indictments popping up, and then now he took a deal, or you know what I'm saying? How much time you think if you facing 30 or more, and if you take a deal, what are you accepting? It's got to be 10 or better, right?
Yeah, depending on what kind of you gave them the right, you know what I mean? You gave them that work. You gave them that good information. You probably had to do about 10, 15.
If you facing 30 plus, you not accepting no less than 10, right? I mean, no more than 10, right?
You talking about me?
Yeah, like you, if you are facing 30 plus years and you said, you know what, fuck that, yo.
I take that on the chin.
No, I'm saying if you didn't though, hypothetically speaking, you wouldn't settle. Like if it was me, if I would
I'm not getting no time. What are you talking about? If I'm giving up, so y'all not putting me to jail.
I got you. Yeah. But they
Y'all
got
not
you dead to
putting me
rights on
jail.
some shit though. That see, like when they got you dead to rights and they're like, look, you going down for this. We got the video, we got the evidence, you going down for this. But you could go down for other shit unless you know what I'm saying? You, like, what's up? Like, what I'm saying is,
If I'm still going to
facing,
jail, I'm not
Yeah,
snitching.
exactly.
What
If you
that shit
still
don't
going
make
to
no
jail,
sense.
it ain't even no point of snitching. Like,
so you
I
said,
don't give a fuck how less time they offer you. You're
you-
still going to jail.
so you're 21. You
I
sit,
could do 30. I'll be out when I'm 41. Fuck it.
nah, you're 51.
You said if I'm
You 21. You sitting for 30. You 51 when you get out.
I'm sorry. What? How would you say 21?
If you 21 and you
Oh,
sit,
yeah, definitely
you come
31.
home at 31.
I'm still coming home a millionaire. He
Nah.
got residuals. He got residuals. Nah, he got residuals. He got to collect.
This is the problem. The problem is what they hit him with. One of the things they hit him with is racketeering. The problem with racketeering is once they start hitting you with those types of charges, now what they're saying is you used illegally obtained funds to fund a legal business, which you can no longer profit off of. So all those funds are gone. They season all of that. The second he takes that deal, they season all those funds because, as far as they're concerned, you obtain these funds through illegal activity. Now it's money laundering, it's racketeering, it's all this shit. That's what racketeering is.
Entertainment, though.
Because racketeering, the charge of racketeering is using illegal money to fund legal businesses.
But he got receipt. He could prove all that money, though.
He could prove it now, but they're saying that he started by illegal. You see what I'm saying? So now they can come in for everything. And it's like the Son of Sam law where you can't profit off of your illegal activity. It's like if O.J. Simpson had gotten convicted, he wouldn't have been able to write that book if I had killed her because you can't profit off the crime. So now once you take that deal, you convicted. So between that, taxes, shows that he's missed where they're suing him, he ain't going to have no money left. And he got a stick for 10 plus.
I'm still coming home like, stupid. Is you dumb? That I'm done. 50 years old, 51 years old on stage.
I just want to say that.
Drum.
Salute to Charlamagne, the guy from the Breakfast Club. He's a goddamn oracle. This motherfucker said like 2 years ago, yo, Tekashi better slow down because this is exactly where he gonna end up. And he said that.
Niggas told Fat Joe had a personal conversation with him about that, and he told him
after the fact
to get you.
Yeah, yep. But Charlamagne been saying that from the beginning, like, yo, you keep talking crazy out here like this, and
you either gonna end up dead, somebody gonna come kill you, or you going to fucking jail.
And what's up with these young boys? Like, you didn't learn from Chief Keef. You didn't learn from even when A.R. Ab and them went there. Like, what's up with these dudes?
They stupid. They young. That's that young shit. Young dumb niggas getting money.
They say, yo, youth is wasted on the young. Because if I was 21 again, my nigga, I would be rich by 30.
Word.
Facts. Yo, what's up with Chris? What's up with Bow Wow?
He got beat up by his girl.
Got beat up by his girl. That nigga got the Wolverine marks on his face. You seen a picture of him? He got the Wolverine scratch on his face.
Yeah, because when you hit me up and I jumped on the stream and you was like, "Yo, you seen that Bow Wow shit?" I was trying to find it, but honestly, did it happen today? Because I couldn't find nothing on YouTube. I found one.
Jazz said she think it was yesterday.
It's funny because just
You
looking
gotta
at
go to the shade room.
just what's that, like a website, shaderoom.com?
Nah, YouTube. Shade Room.
It's the shade room on YouTube or Instagram. It got a website too.
Yo, when I be seeing pictures of them too, I be like, yo,
Look, here you go right here.
too much for them. For him. Yeah. And then okay, so here's my question. How did he get arrested if he got the marks?
Because the man already
You know the nigga going to jail regardless.
Nah, it's not out here.
Nah, I know,
We
but
got a lot of
that ain't
states
happening
now.
out here.
It used to be whoever called the cops, the other person was going. Now,
I called the cops and said she was.
but now
they both got arrested though.
Oh, they both did. Okay. So what? He put hands on.
Two mugshots.
Okay.
That's
All
both
right.
of their mugshots. They both got arrested.
So then he must have. So then he must have put hands on her, right? Too, right?
Yeah, he
Okay,
did.
so here's my question. Because people are automatically going to assume, like people do, that if both people got marks and bruises on them, the woman was the herself as the aggressor.
It's just him.
No, I'm saying most people are going to assume when that's the case, right? That the woman was defending herself and the man was the aggressor.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Is Bow Wow wrong if he was just defending himself? Is he wrong? We talked about this the other day, Key. Ain't nobody
is he wrong for defending himself?
Yes.
The way that man looked, fuck no. Like, nah.
Yo, could he get a stand your ground defense? Like, yo, like look at his face.
You know he's not, but he should.
Doing this nigga stupid as fuck, yo. Hold on. You said what, Key?
I say you know he's not, but he should. Because it looked like she was putting that work on his ass. What's up?
So, okay, hold on. Are they saying what happened? Like what caused?
Nah, I went on YouTube and clicked like 2 videos, and it's other people like reacting and having their 2 cents to say about it. One dude was like, "Damn, look like she dog walked that nigga." Yo, Brian. But you know, if the shoes was on the other foot though, if she looked at the way he looked, he'd have been a whole type of woman beater and all this crazy shit. Like everybody, it is all funny jokes. Like everybody getting on him right now, but let's keep it real. If he would have whooped her ass like that,
and that's what's crazy.
It wouldn't have been no laughing and hee ha ha. It'd have been a big deal.
And that's what I don't fuck with. That's the problem right there. That's exactly the problem right there. Yo, what the fuck? Why is it doing that? So, see, and that's what's crazy. Like, we'll clown the guy when he get them hands and them hands, paws, and feet, and everything else put on him.
Word.
But when it's, why is it doing that? But when it's the other way around and the woman looked like that, and we ready to crucify the dude.
You know that.
I don't really agree with that, for real.
Yeah, I just feel like you shouldn't be putting your hands on nobody. But neither one of y'all.
Facts.
I'm like, let's hop on this 2K or this Mortal Kombat or something. Like,
by the way, old school.
Word. Like, let's take our frustrations out on this video game or something. Let's have a food fight.
I understand why this is doing this.
Or we can just have sex.
But sometimes, like I said, these women be getting foul and crazy and wild. And what do? Like that, he clearly got tore up. Clearly.
Like, oh, choke.
Like she hit him like he didn't even see it coming type shit.
Yeah, it's like she just gone.
Yeah, like you see what I'm saying? Like,
and you know she probably popped his ass a good 2-3 times too.
Damn.
Scratches was first. You know, she started swinging them things like.
But see, I just don't like the hypocritical nature of how we do shit. Like when we saw those pictures of Rihanna, it was yo, what the fuck, yo, fuck this nigga Chris Brown, like
Word.
But now, see them pictures of Bow Wow, and it's like, oh shit, it got fucked up. Crazy.
Oh man.
I would appreciate that, to be quite honest.
Nah, me neither.
Oh, why is this not letting me? It's like it keeps. This is crazy. Oh no. Anyway, so what else is on the docket before we get the fuck up out of here? Your friend never came again, so we shut.
Let's see. How about that pizza? It's like nah.
Yeah. I got you. As soon as we get up the stream.
You know I was fucking with you, bro.
No, we not. No, we not. You sending that pizza?
Send me your address, yo.
We would text it to you.
Shit
Bro, you are the realest.
That shit ain't about nothing.
Oh,
That shit ain't about nothing.
word. Nah, because we gonna come back. I'm gonna find out some more information on the Tekashi 6ix9ine situation.
Touch base on that again. Yeah.
Definitely gonna touch bases on this Bow Wow thing again. And there's still no word with the Chris Brown situation, but definitely gonna keep you up to date on this media thing that's going on around here. Give our reactions, give our comments, what we think.
Right. All right. So before we close out, final thoughts and all that shit. Who you got winning tomorrow? Super Bowl.
Man, fuck that Super Bowl. I don't care who wins. Like,
We got Cowboys fans. We got another Cowboys fan.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say I don't care who wins. I want LA to win. I want the Rams to win, but we all know that's not gonna happen.
Talking about another conspiracy, another.
Of course, come on. You know, motherfucking New England got. Come on, you seen them refs slapping Tom Brady ass? He like, yo, I got you, bro.
I'm glad y'all still on live.
On live.
We ain't closing up yet, nigga. Fuck wrong with you with your swollen face. All right, all right, Key. Let's wrap it up with our final thoughts on this topic and get the fuck out.
All right, my final thoughts on it, man. Listen, I can do the monogamy thing. I can do the. I feel like I can be married, but it has to be the right woman. Spiritually, mentally, physically, like everything ain't about sex, but definitely mentally. Like we have to have some type of connection. And I feel like, hey, those who can live the polygamy life, I'm all for it, man. Do you? And those who can do the monogamy thing, definitely strong. Don't cheat. Just stay single. Stay out here dating. Do what you do. You know, don't get into a committed relationship if you're not ready. That's my final thoughts.
All right. In light of the fact that I spent the past 24 hours literally on the clock, I'm just gonna say this, yo. Make love, not war. Have lots of sex. Wrap it up. Do what you do. Don't hurt nobody. Peace and love.
Peace.